Jayson Tatum is better than Jaylen Brown, you must at least consider that the gap isn't that big, right? And when you think about it, Jaylen could be right? He certainly is right about that when you look at the NBA Finals last year. In my opinion, when I watched the Celtics go up against the Warriors last year, Jaylen Brown was the clear better player between him and Jayson Tatum against the Warriors. Both eye test and also just statistically. Last year against the Warriors, Jayson Tatum seemed to shrink underneath all the bright lights of the stage he was on, which is the Finals. And inversely, Jaylen Brown seemed to embrace the moment and seemed to take it for what it is. He seemed like he was ready. And I think it just comes down to personality. I think Jaylen Brown has more of an aggressive, assertive personality than Jayson Tatum does. And also, it showed in the numbers. When you go back and you look at the statistics, right? Jaylen Brown was clearly the number one guy for the Celtics, right? Last year, he averaged 23.4 points per game in the Finals in comparison to Jayson's 21.5 points per game. You look at those numbers, you ask, is Jayson Tatum really that much better than him? And although Tatum had him beat in terms of averaging 7 assists per game, Jaylen Brown had Tatum beat in terms of rebounds, because he averaged 7.3 rebounds per game in comparison to Jayson Tatum's 6.8 rebounds per game. And Jayson Tatum's taller than him. So, you really ask yourself, if Tatum is better than Jaylen Brown, what's the gap? To me, it's not looking like it's a huge gap. So Jaylen Brown knows how good he is, and he knows he could potentially be better than Jayson Tatum, were he given the chance. But he's treated like a second option, and you can see why that would be frustrating to a guy as talented as Jaylen Brown. I mean, he's as talented as they come. And what I'm thinking is, Jaylen Brown wants to go somewhere where he's given a bigger role. And another thing I think that frustrates Jaylen Brown and highlights just how the organization doesn't appreciate him enough is how many times he's been on a trading block in the last 3 years. Jayson Tatum's never been on a trading block. So when Kevin Durant came up this trade deadline, he was in talks. Last summer when Kevin Durant requested for a trade, Jaylen Brown was at the forefront of trade talks when it came to the Boston Celtics. And you can see from a player's perspective really just how much an organization values you when they're willing to shop you to other teams and you're supposed to be one of their core, one of their important players, right? And that could lead him to want to go somewhere else. Now, what are my thoughts on this? My thoughts are this would be devastating for the Boston Celtics. Like I said before, Jaylen Brown is a smart, very talented player, and he has a unique personality, which is an aggressive and assertive personality, not afraid of big moments. And when you lose a player like that, it's hard to recoup. I don't think Jayson Tatum has that alpha in him, that dog in him, as they say. Jayson Tatum's very talented, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying there's a difference between being talented and being a cold-blooded killer when it's time. And it's ironic because Jayson looks up to Kobe and tries to live up to Kobe, right? And that's what Kobe was, a cold-blooded killer when it came time to be one. Now, Jaylen Brown isn't a free agent until next summer, 2024. So if he does leave the Boston Celtics, the Celtics are going to have to greenlight it, right? But they've shopped him around before in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were willing to sign off on it if he requested that trade, or if a really, really good offer came up. But yes, it's looking like for now, Jaylen Brown will remain with the Celtics until this season is over, right? We'll see how far the Celtics go in the playoffs. But in the offseason, something big could happen. Those are just my thoughts on the Boston Celtics. If you like this kind of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like underneath this video, and let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, kids.